Hello and welcome to Racers Now. We are bright and early on Friday morning. I've got no idea where SD is now. I've got no idea where he is going today, but it will involve racing as always. We're here Saturday, the 31st of August. We're going to Sandown. We're going to Beverley. We're going to Chester. It's not a great weekend, but it is ramping up next week. We're going to be doing all sorts, including anti-post stuff. SD, where are you? How are you? And whose shirt are you wearing?
Well, I'm on my own. You can talk, fucking lime green bloody warrior. Yes, I'm in Norfolk. I'm going to try and head to Salisbury in a bit after this. So it'll be a lovely day. I mean, what a terrible week it's been for democracy. Not content with freezing pensioners to death, Starmer now wants to ban you smoking in beer gardens. What an authoritarian tosser that man is.
Politics now. A new channel launching next week. Politics now.
Can you imagine Sir Mark Prescott on a racecourse being manhandled by security men? I mean, the entire thing is just absolutely ridiculous. With the death knell of pubs, terrible for racecourses, and that man didn't bother putting it in his manifesto. The people have been duped, and he is an absolute barrier to democracy.
I tell you what is positively ridiculous is SD's positive figures for tipping this year. Outrageous. What more can I say? What more can I say? We've been going since March the 22nd, all 1 point win, all 1 point each way. Look at him. 166 points plus. Where are you going to get that for free on a Thursday night or a Friday morning as it is this week? Incredible stuff. I'm obviously miles and miles behind. Last week, we both put up Seed the Fire and it won. When we agree, it often works out pretty well. Right. Got to fire through SD. We're going to Sandown on Saturday, where they did have some rain earlier in the week. It's drying now. I think it will be on the quicker side of good by the time they get going on Saturday on ITV. The 225 is the first race. We're going to look at 1 mile for fillies and mares, Group 3. 50-50 in the last 10 years between 3 and 4-year-olds winning this race. Tamfana is at the top of the market, and I think there is plenty of reasons to take her on. David Manoussier has been in France on her last 2 starts without winning. And with this ground drying all the time, she's never ran on anything remotely close to good to firm, and I think that's what it might be. Last 2 starts have been in Group 1s, but over 10.5 and 12 furlongs. Back down to 8 here, 49-day break. Surely there's bigger summer autumn targets for this horse. Drawn 7 of 9. That might be a problem on this round mile. She's not for me. I think she's short. There's no bet for me, but as I said a couple of times last week, I would just be laying Tamfana, and that's what I will be doing.
Well, she is short. I'm not too sure about the ground argument. We all know that they can't call ground in France. I mean, their soft is nearer our good. And on times, of course, those last 2 races she's running have been at worst good ground. The Guineas, which is arguably her career best form, where of course she was unlucky given a terrible ride, was also probably just about on the quicker side of good as well. So I'm not concerned about the ground, but she does appear a bit triplets. I mean, they've been fannying around. They go a mile, 2.5, then they go up to 12 furlongs. You're back to 8 today. She does appear tripless, and it is a legitimate concern. As you say, she may have other targets. I suspect she's probably a 10 furlong horse if she could learn to settle.
She'll be running on Arc Day over 10 furlongs, won't she?
Yeah. And Evans is short enough. I thought Choisya was probably the bet of the weekend. I thought she won really well last time at Haydock, beat a good filly of Wraiths called Indelible, and she does appear to be a filly in form. When I did the form for this race, I wasn't even contemplating she'd be double figures. I thought she'd be 6 or 7 to 1. She's 12 to 1. She's far too big. She does appear on the upgrade and a little bit more improvement. We'll see her competitive here. You've got Doha in the race. Everyone loves this Doha because the dam is Trev, don't they? But in terms of the form book, Choisya has probably achieved a little bit more. So my money is on Choisya.
I do agree with SD and his argument on that horse. She was a little bit lost. I mean, it was a standout career best at Haydock for Choisy. Well, particularly this year, she was decent enough last year towards the back end. But yeah, I thought she was definitely headed in the right direction. Had a bit of a mid-season break from the 4th of May, then returned on the 10th of August in that decent race at Haydock. Yeah, I think that's a fair enough bet from SD, and I thought she would be shorter. I am laying Tampa on. She's 206 to lay right now, and I'll be happy to lay at that price, genuinely. Right, quick, swiftly moving on to the 3 o'clock. This is a 10 furlong handicap at Sandown. No bet from me, but SD fancies 1 or maybe even 2.
But we might. I think we do go 2 here. I think the first point is that Balmacara, all this horse's best form is with giving the ground. Was a non-runner at Ascot on good to firm, was a non-runner at Goodwood on good ground. And the last 4 starts have been on conditions varying between good to soft and soft. I saw this Balmacara first time up at Doncaster this year, and it looked like an absolute pony. Horrible looking thing. Absolutely vile looking thing it is. So I couldn't have that at 9-4, but Involvement is the most likely winner of this for the Crisfords. We're on a bit of a Crisford theme today. Ran a very good race, went 7th in the Sandringham. Previously was 2nd in the Silver Belt in Ellie Laylax, who's now in Australia, and won a handicap at the July meeting fairly well as well. Last time just got caught out in a listed race at Deauville, but we can't all like France. But certainly on all known form, a mark of 102 is tractable. If you look at the Newmarket run, for example, and she does seem on the up. I just want to throw a dart at Sierra Blanca. Some not the Spanish mountain range, very nice that Spanish mountain range, but there was a modicum of promise last time when this thing fell out the bloody traps and was 6th of 9 at Newmarket, and stepping up in trip, ran us a bit paceless that day, and certainly on some of the form for Aidan O'Brien, for Martin Mead, and not chubby son Freddie anymore. I could see being competitive. I thought 40s was very big. Mark One's on the plate. He didn't look an overly strong race to me, so I'll throw a dart at that as well.
Just confirming, there is 7 runners in this race, but a selection of bookies are betting 3 places each way. You can get the 40 each way, 3 places in this 7-runner race. This Sierra Blanca SD, what a strange profile. Started, no nay never. Started with Aidan O'Brien for 5 starts, went to Freddie and Martin for 1 start, then went to Richard Hannon for 1 start.
Yeah, they gave up training, didn't they?
And then back to Martin, no Freddie for 1 start. This
Freddie's gone doing other things, probably being a stunt double at KFC or something.
But he's been running over 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, back to 8 furlongs. Yeah, strange profile, to be honest. I struggled with this race. So yeah, swiftly moving on. SD's put 2 up. One's a massive price, and one's near the top of the market. Right, the feature race at Sandown on Saturday is the 3:35 Solario Stakes, Group 3, 7 furlongs. Usually a good race. I thought Field of Gold would be pretty short for this. Depending on your definition of pretty short, he's 7-4, but I actually thought he might be a bit shorter, and I can see him going off. This is a 5-4 horse, in my opinion, and I think that's what will probably happen. Trained by John Gosden, pretty impressive when winning his 2nd start at Newmarket in mid-July. The Gosdens' last 3 runners in this race have been Reach for the Moon in 21, won. A horse called Ashashi in 2019 that we've not seen since, and in 2018 2 Darn Hot. So 2 of the last 3 runners in this race have both won, and they were both pretty good. I think Field of Gold will prove better and somewhat clear of the rest. Matauri Bay might have won at Leicester, but you're not telling me that was A, an overly good race, and B, he already looks like he wants further to me. I just think Field of Gold is a standout in here, and he will stand out on the screen because he is a flashing grey horse. He's listed as a yeah, he's great. Yeah, Field of Gold for me, SD.
Right. Well, let me just try and blow your argument a little bit.
Okay.
I think those who have run have the potential to improve. I was at Leicester when Matauri Bay ran. Didn't look that great in the paddock, but won well enough. And it was a pretty strong race, you know. There were several unexposed types from fairly big yards. The stout horse in third is definitely worth looking out for because it was green as grass. But Matauri Bay did the job well enough, and I can see him running reasonably well here. The second out of the York, out of the Leicester race, has since been second in probably the strongest maiden of the year, the Convivial Maiden. So I'd be fairly optimistic Matauri Bay can improve, but I couldn't let Zous Your Daddy go unbacked either. Who I thought that the winner controlled the race at Kempton, another horse of Rafe's, and Zous Your Daddy came back from what was a bit of a pace bias and ran really, really well. Was not on back that day under Ray Dawson. Now the winner is an unexposed type, but I thought, granted normal improvement, Zous Your Daddy could be competitive. The only reason it's this price, of course, is because it's trained by Simon Pearce. Simon's mother, Lydia, was a great amateur jockey in the 90s, and Jeff was his dad, who was a very good trainer. So I'll put it up at 66 for young Billy.
Yeah, Billy on. Well, there's 8 runners. We've covered 3 of them, so we should have a chance of backing a winner there. I must say, this Zous Your Daddy, definitely not on my radar, but I am watching it back now, and you might have half an argument, but like you say, from the unsexy profile, would have to leap forward massively. But that's
yes, but they can from run 1 to run 2. Yeah. But yours has had 2 runs. That's the point, and it is almost built into the price. I think yours is probably a bit short, but we'll see.
I think Field of Gold will go a 5-4 or shorter and win. Right, over at Beverley, it's their big ITV day of the season, and they've attracted 5 runners in race number 1 on ITV and 7 runners in race number 2, the Beverley Bullet. There's horses in there rated 95, 96. I would take a sledgehammer to this is one of the races that would be in the target zone.
You're all very well shitting on the small tracks, aren't you? Why can't York give a bloody race up? Make it 3 days, but never mind. York
have done all sorts of silly things that I don't agree with. They race on a Saturday in October, on the same day as Catterick, which they shouldn't be doing. Newmarket shouldn't move the July Cup to a Saturday, which they have. I would get rid of the Coral Eclipse completely. I'll just delete it. So don't talk to me about
the Eclipse.
The Eclipse would be gone for me. It's too close to Royal Ascot. It's too close to Royal Ascot. And it's too close to Royal Ascot on one side, and it's too close to the King George on the other. It's a waste of time. Anyway, the opener 5 runners. What are you going to tell me, Esty? You haven't even got a bet in that, right? Okay. Well, swiftly moving on. We're going to the Beverley Bullet, where there's 7 runners.
Yes, good race. Good race. I thought there were questions about those at the top of the market, though. Jesus Christ! If you look at Comanche Falls, all known form is this horse is a 6 furlong horse. That's Fav. Democracy Dilemma. I mean, really, just running in bloody handicaps. I'm not sure. Clarendon House has 2 ways of running. Was last time. Good heavens. Blue Storm's coming, well, the Tutty Yard aren't in form. They were earlier in the year. It's coming from a second at Royal Ascot. And you start scrolling down the market. So Staincliff won. It was a pretty good time at Windsor, you know, when this thing won. And he's very unexposed, has won 2 races, was second in the maiden at Sandown before that. I might just offer something unexposed in a race which is full of exposed sprinters. And speaking of exposed sprinters, I couldn't let Emaraaty Ana go. I think 5 furlongs fast ground around here is absolutely ideal for this horse. It's only 2 years since he was second in the Sprint Cup. He won a listed race last year. ran perfectly respectably last time and under unsuitable conditions at Chester, and was 8th in the King's Stand. Now you might say, what the bloody hell are you going on about? 8th in the King's Stand? That may well be good enough to win this.
Yeah.
So I'm going Emaraaty Ana as well.
I've got some bad news on your Staincliff price, SD. You told me 13-2, it's 6-1. 6-1 is the best price you can get, Staincliff. So I've clipped you in. Anything else, SD? Anything at Chester? I mean, it comes to something when the best racing on a Saturday is at Chester, really.
Well, the best racing isn't at Chester. Just get this fallacy out of your head. They've got 1 mile handicap, which is 7.5 furlong, which is mildly interesting.
Right. Yeah, they've got a listed 1 mile 6.5 furlong race at 3:15. I'm surprised SD doesn't have a bet in that, to be fair. But I am not surprised that SD is interested in the 2:40 at Chester, where a couple of his old favourites run, including, and I don't usually do this, but Boardman. SD loves Boardman at Chester, and of course he's putting him up.
Well, I'll give you the bad news. It only wins in bloody May, but run really
well, it's September. It's September on Sunday.
Maybe the sunshine will help. It's lovely and sunny down here in Norfolk. The point is, it should have won at Haydock on its penultimate start, which was in August, off a mark of 87. The handicapper was kind of only put it up to. I think, granted, looking running, it wants a strong pace, basically. Strong pace, looking running. 14th is perfectly fair for a horse who has an awesome turn of foot and loves the twists and turns of chess. I am going to put Divine Libra up too, though, because he won a race here back at the May meeting, has been running perfectly respectably in the handicaps. Now, you might say it's no chance of Storm 14. Some races at Chester this year have been dominated by a high.
It's not as bad as it used to be. I've seen people say that, not just me, but yeah, I've seen others say that.
It's a good race. This Carry the One, well, it's still 7 years old and it's still it's still going. Yanifer ran well. There's a few you could chuck at, but at the prices, double figure for them both, I was perfectly happy.
Yeah, and note there that you got Broadway, the best price is 14-1 with 5 places, and Divine Libra, the best price is 12-1, but you get 6 places there, so there's a slight disparity. But we go.
If you could somehow get on with Sly Bet.
Yeah, SD goes for the price rather than the place terms, and he's correct to do so. Right, what's your plans today? So you're going to Salisbury or Sandown, or what are you doing?
I'm going to try and get to Salisbury straight after this. If I don't make it, I'll go to Sandown, but there's an outside chance I could go to Fonwell. So somewhere in the south of England today, and Beverley tomorrow.
If you set off now, how long would it take you to get home?
4 and a bit.
But instead, you're going 4 hours in the wrong direction to Salisbury.
Yes. Not been to Salisbury for a while. Lovely part of the world. Salisbury.
Excellent. Right, well, on that bombshell, we'll see you next week. Thanks,
hopefully no Novichok there. Goodbye. Right, I need to